Happy WrestleMania weekend, everyone. Soro and Disney here. It's almost 11 a.m. and I thought, per usual, it is Friday, so Friday means we're going to talk some TNA Impact. And I watched TNA last night, and actually, it was really good. It was a nice, I guess you could call it the go-home show to the Corpus Christi event next week, if you want to say that, since the fact that there is not a TNA live pay-per-view this month. Actually, there is a TNA one-night-only pay-per-view this month that actually focuses on the X Division. And we'll see the very last Rob Van Dam Jerry Lynn match in history. So check that out if you get a chance to. It's on demand pay-per-view, so watch that if you get a chance. And see Jerry Lynn and Rob Van Dam one last time. So, it is Friday, like I said. This weather is glorious. I mean, honestly, this is great. I mean, the beginning of this week, we're in the 30s, and it was so cold. And now, we're in the 50s, and progressing upwards rather rapidly. We are getting into the 60s today, and we are going to be in the 70s by next week. So, spring is finally here, and hopefully we're not going to get anything less than 50-degree weather for the rest of the foreseeable future. So, that's awesome, because I actually have to walk to work a couple days this week. I work 2 days this week, and Saturday I have to walk because I don't have a way home, or a way there, so I will have to take care of that. And Monday, I probably will have to walk there and walk home too. So, lose some weight, get some exercise. And I'm eating these cookies that my mom got me. And let me show them to you real quick. Actually, I will. Now, hold on. I don't know if you can see them or not. These are called Who News. Who News, okay. These are basically vanilla cookies with like a vanilla inside, like cream, kind of like Oreos. They're basically, what they are is healthy Oreos. I don't really know how they work per se, but I will say that pretty much what they are is they give you vitamins and nutrients and minerals and things obviously I wouldn't get otherwise. So they're pretty good, and they're not bad. And there's a chocolate flavor, Mom, so pick those up if you get a chance to, because I saw them in Walmart the other day when I was shop kicking. So today, like I said, we're going to get Jurassic Park taken care of first thing in 3D, and I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to sit through Evil Dead afterwards. And I'm going to see if I can talk AJ into watching Spring Breakers tonight or tomorrow after I get off work, depending on which one works for him. Because, obviously, Sunday's completely off limits, because Sunday is devoted to WrestleMania and WrestleMania events. That basically means I'll be hanging out with Will pretty much all day. And Monday is now a work day, so that's not going to work out. And Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, obviously everyone knows is B-dubs. So the movie would let out about 4:30, and I don't think AJ wants to go there that early. So we're going to have to work something out. So we'll get that figured out soon enough. But folks, let's talk TNA Impact. And last night we were once again live to tape from Jonesboro, Arkansas. And we go live, quote-unquote live. And the Aces and Eights theme hits as they all walk from the back. Now here's the thing. I really like the Aces and Eights music. I really do. I would get rid of Mike Knox, get rid of him, and put someone else in there. Don't know exactly who it would be at this point, but put someone else in there. But other than that, I don't mind the Aces and Eights. I think they're not the greatest stable. I mean, I get Gallows back on my screen, so that's cool. And Compton fits in Aces and Eights better. There you go. Cliff Compton should be in Aces and Eights instead of Mike Knox. So, yeah, that should have happened. But, anyways, Aces and Eights come to the ring. And, oh, another thing I want to tell you real quick about that. What happened to the theme music? Make up your mind, TNA, honestly. You have the instrumental theme for Dead Man's Hand, and it makes sense, right? But when Bully Ray came out last week, he had lyrics to the song. And it's been running through my head for the last week and a half. I don't know how that's possible because it's only been a week, but still, the lyrics have been running through my head for what seems like an eternity. And I want to hear it again. And even when Bully Ray came out tonight, and he does later on in the show, there is no lyrics to the theme. It's just the instrumental version. So, don't know what's going on with that. But I guess we'll get to it later. So, real quick, as usual, these wrestling recaps of any kind are a little bit more push the envelope, a little more risque, because I have to drop some words that I usually would not use on this channel. And obviously, I think I figured out to the point that this is how it's going to work. I can say pretty much anything I want, with the exception of, I pretty much can say anything I want. I'm just trying to be nice here and not use cursing as much as I possibly can, even though if you know me in real life, you know I curse like a sailor. I guess you could say it's a tribute to the late, great George Carlin. So, basically, here's the thing. I can say anything I want with the exception of dropping an S-bomb, or definitely dropping an F-bomb. So, anything that involves wrestling, or The Apprentice, or potentially AJ's movie reviews, because obviously I gotta read them verbatim, even though I kind of mess up every once in a while. Thanks, AJ, for pointing that out. But I totally understand that, because it's 9 o'clock in the morning sometimes when I'm doing those AJ's weekend movie reviews, and I just want to get them done so I can start the day, and I'm not rushing through them. I just want to get them done so I get them out to you guys, so you guys could see AJ's weekend movie reviews before you miss the entire weekend, and hopefully it'll get you to watch something that you weren't thinking about watching on Sunday. So, I'm going to start off with one thing that was really hilarious. You look at the, I guess they're cuts. I don't know much about biker nomenclature, or I don't know. I've never watched Sons of Anarchy in my life. I understand. I get that. You can just go ahead and, I know a lot of people just turned off the video right now saying, "You never watched Sons of Anarchy? Forget him." So, oh well. Anyway, so I guess they're called cuts. Anyway, what they do is they have their name and then they have, like, their title. I mean, you obviously have Bully Ray. It says Bully and it says President, and it says Devon says Vice President. I think it's hilarious. Mr. Anderson's cut actually says asshole. That's funny. And of course, he's the first person to talk, and he basically says right away, as him, Devon, and D'Lo Brown are the only Aces and Eights members in the ring. Everybody else is surrounding. Anderson grabs the mic and goes, furthermore, to call the Jonesboro crowd, saying out, "Hey, douchebags!" And he says, "I got a special package in my hands." And basically he holds up this manila envelope. And Anderson turns his attention to AJ Styles, and he says, when you were needed, long day. When you needed TNA the most, when you were at your absolute lowest point possible, they turned their backs on you. And in this hand is a cut, and it's got your name on it, AJ. Think it over. Obviously, when you ride with the Aces and Eights, you never ride alone. So, basically, Devon gets on the mic after this and goes, furthermore, to explain what this envelope is with not saying anything at all, basically, Devon says, when Bubba brings her out tonight, I'm quoting him, the contents of the envelope will change the relationship. D'Lo is last on the mic, and he says his gift is not what he is giving, but what he has received. That had a little bit of silence in the crowd. D'Lo pulls out a regular white envelope, and he says his letter was a termination notice from TNA. And D'Lo says after all the years of hard work he's put into the company, he deserved more than just a plain envelope. He didn't get a phone call or a meeting, even a text message. D'Lo calls out the officials in the back and asks for one of them to come out and say face to face, "Why did I get fired?" So instead of an official, here comes Kurt Angle. With a mic, of course. Kurt Angle says he's going to say something to his face without doing it via Twitter or Facebook or any sort of social media networking. Or even a cell phone. Kurt Angle says he's going to look D'Lo right in the eyes and just tell him exactly how he feels. So D'Lo asks exactly what he has to say, but instead Angle double legs him and starts attacking. Aces and Eights jumping from behind. Here comes Eric Young, Samoa Joe, Magnus, and Joseph Park to even the odds, and we have a nice little brawl to set up tonight's main event. Team TNA, of course, get the upper hand after a little bit, and Aces and Eights flee to the outside. Both teams stare each other down, and an interesting opening to the show. It was alright, to be totally honest. I like D'Lo Brown. And I think you're leaning towards D'Lo Brown and Kurt Angle this year, if D'Lo can still work. I don't know if he can or not, so there might be a reason why he's not doing these matches. He's just a mouthpiece, so I don't know. Hopefully he can work, because D'Lo and Kurt Angle, yeah, I'd like to see that. That'd be awesome. And there's enough heat there, it would make good sense to actually have it happen this year. So, the envelope, okay, whatever. I don't really care, honestly. The Bully Ray, Brooke Hogan stuff, it's hit or miss, it really is. And I want to see good wrestling, and on TNA, I can see good wrestling. Obviously on WWE, I can see good wrestling too, but given the fact, obviously, that WrestleMania is this weekend, WWE is going to be a little bit more storyline, a little bit more promo intensive this time around. Because of the time of year it is. And the fact that WrestleMania is this weekend, it makes sense. But TNA doesn't really have any pay-per-view to build for. Slammiversary is not till June 2nd, so you're basically just building to the next Impact, which obviously is the big Impact from Corpus Christi when you have Jeff Hardy against Bully Ray in Full Metal Mayhem. But we'll get to that later. So after this, we see Joey Ryan. He catches up to Brooke Hogan backstage. Joey says, I have a favor to offer Brooke. And Brooke goes, I'm still technically married. That's funny. So Joey's like, no, not that kind of favor. And after a little bit of back and forth, he asks for his real question. That is, if he can referee tonight's Knockouts match. Due to the fact that, obviously, when Taryn Terrell was fired from her Knockouts referee position, she became an official member of the Knockouts roster. And that means there is no referee for the Knockouts division anymore. Obviously, you can't go with Hebner because of the situation with Madison Rayne, even though Madison Rayne's off television for the foreseeable future. But there's no referee, so Joey Ryan's going to step in and take some weight off Brooke's shoulders and do just that. So Brooke reluctantly agrees, just saying, you can't touch anyone. Obviously, he's Joey Styles. He's Joey Ryan. He's the king of sleaze. It says it in every promo he's ever done. And he's going to be the Knockouts ref. This is going to be fun. So Joey says, I'll be fine, don't worry about this, don't worry about it, I'm not going to touch anybody inappropriately, it's okay, don't worry about it, it's okay, Brooke, just take this weight off your shoulders. I got this. So Joey exits, and Brooke says, my life is falling apart. Okay, when we come back from commercial break, the match I've been saying was going to happen for a long time, obviously between Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim. I'm going to hold it off another week. Because in this match, we're actually getting the tag match that we pretty much set up last week with Velvet Sky and Taryn Terrell against Tara and Gail Kim. Of course, that was set up with the sneak attack from behind from Taryn Terrell, actually. And she attacked Gail Kim from behind and then attacked Tara from behind. Velvet Sky came in and the four women brawled. So, set up this tag team match for tonight. So, Joey... This is awesome, by the way. Joey's wearing black pants and white shirt. Oh, and during the promo, I obviously want to mention something that is kind of glossed over. I don't know why this needed to be said. I don't want that image in my head because it creeps me out extremely. But Joey Ryan says, I got my black and white on. I'm even wearing a zebra print thong. And I'm like, I don't want to hear about that. And then Joey's like, I'll show you, Brooke. I'll show you. He's like, no, I don't want to see this. I don't see this at all. And we don't want to see it either, Joey. But we want to see you in the ring because you're awesome. Now, here's the thing. Joey Ryan is basically patting down the competitors in the match. But really creepily. Like, he's like, not fondling them per se. He's kind of just like rubbing them just a little too much. And of course, everybody's kind of turned off by it. This is basically a nice distraction for Tara to attack from behind, and we have our match. Excuse me. So during this entire match, whenever a pinfall attempt would be attempted, basically Joey Ryan would stare creepily at the women involved. The roll-ups, everything, he refused to count for any reason. He was like, I'm just going to watch. I'm just going to stand back and watch. I might as well have a plastic bag floating in the air. But he just wants to watch. But anyway, we get to the middle of the match as usually, and Gail Kim starts realizing, I'm going to turn this to my advantage, and I'm going to help my team, so I'm going to take one for the team, and I'm going to start flirting with Joey Ryan. That's exactly what she starts doing. So she flirts with Joey Ryan, and of course this gets Joey's motor revved as usual, and she tags Tara into the ring. She drives the shoulder into Velvet Sky's midsection in the corner, and then chokes her for a bit until Joey Ryan actually does the referee spot and separates the two. So Ryan puts his hands all over Tara, and Jesse jumps on the apron, rips his shirt off. He's like, "That's my girl, bro!" And yells at Ryan. He basically treats Tara like she's his property. So yeah, that's how it works when you look like that. But anyway, so Velvet Sky rolls up Tara, and Ryan doesn't count. He just basically stares at Velvet's behind. So Tara shimmies and goes for her standing moonsault, and Joey kind of distracts her, and she pushes him to the side slightly, and then she goes forward again, but this time Velvet Sky rolls out of the way. And Gail Kim tags in, so does Tara and Terrell, and basically a clothesline, a nice snap suplex from Tara and Terrell. So Taryn makes her way to the top rope, hits a flying body press, and Terrell eventually mounts Gail Kim and starts pounding away, slamming her head hard into the canvas repeatedly. Tara enters and pushes Taryn off. Sky runs in and drop kicks Tara out to the floor, literally through the ropes into the floor. So Gail Kim once again flirts with Jerry Ryan, playing with his mustache, and we know where this is going. So basically, Taryn rolls up Gail Kim. When this is happening, Jerry Ryan rips off his shirt, grabs the baby oil, starts oiling up himself like he's getting ready for Gail Kim, and Gail Kim reverses the roll up and grabs the tights slightly. Joey counts a quick 3, and it's over. So, I won't be lying if I would say right now that every time Jerry Ryan did something, it made me laugh. It really did. And, it was very strange, because I haven't had a laugh like that in quite a while. Probably not since Last Ounce of Courage. But that's another story altogether. Now, here's the thing. Basically, everything in this match focused on him instead of the match, but my God, Jerry Ryan is entertaining, so I don't have a problem with that. Wasn't a bad knockouts match, and Taryn Terrell, for her first in-ring competition in TNA, did pretty good. And I'm looking forward to Taryn Terrell and Gail Kim to lock it up next week, which we'll find out later on in the show. Obviously, they're finally going to have their one-on-one match. So, it wasn't bad. It was a decent match to start the show. A lot more ring action than any of the Divas are going to get on WrestleMania Sunday. But, anyway. So, Joey Ryan is trying to celebrate with Gail Kim. Gail Kim is flirting with him, obviously. And she kind of just blows him off. So the heels retreat to the back, and Joey's like, yeah, okay, fine, I'll try with the babyface girls. And that's what he does. He tries to get all sleazy with Velvet and Taryn Terrell. And it was long enough for a distraction, and he got nut-shotted. And that's the end of the segment. So, yay, girl power. So, Austin Aries and Bobby Roode are headed to the ring. We got a contract signing up next. I wonder what this means. So, they're, of course, signing the contract for next week's World Tag Team title match against Chavo Guerrero Jr. and Hernandez. So, JB's in the ring with a podium, and obviously a contract, with Aries, Roode, Chavo, and Hernandez for the signing. Basically, Borash asks if anyone has anything to say. Aries quickly interrupts, like he likes to do. He says they aren't tag team champions, they are a team of world champions. They're not world tag team champions, they're a team of world champions. I like that. So Roode says Guerrero and Hernandez do not hold a candle to them because they've never been world champions. Chavo, ECW heavyweight champion, ECW world champion. I know it was WCW, but still, it happened. And of course, Chavo's all like, I'm a Guerrero! And of course, he hits his chest, and Hernandez is strong as a son of a gun. Yeah, okay. So Borash tries to get the contract signing back on track, but once again, Austin interrupts. This time he says, let's add some perks to this contract to make this a little more interesting. So Roode's like, okay, I want a fruit basket and some green M&Ms and more money for the winners. Hilarious. So Chavo writes in a stip of his own without announcing it, and Aries and Roode are like, okay, that works, that's fine with me. So Bobby talks to Austin once again, and Austin writes in one more stipulation without announcing it yet again. So Chavo and Hernandez, okay, they're down with this, it works. So Jeremy Borash makes the match official for the live crowd and the crowd at home, basically saying that this contract stipulation has now been amended. The World Tag Team Championships will be on the line in a 2 out of 3 falls match, and if Chavo and Hernandez cannot get the job done and win the World Tag Team Championships, they will never be allowed to team again in Impact Wrestling. So that was really interesting, and it's going to be interesting to see that match actually next week. Next week's Impact looks like it's going to be really awesome, so hopefully they will deliver. I'm sure they will with the superstars that are going to deliver this great match. Now they both signed the contracts, and you're expecting an attack or maybe a brawl? No, not at all. Didn't happen at all. And they signed, and they pretty much just jawed back and forth, and that was the end of it. So I can't wait for next week's match. Obviously, the 2 out of 3 falls stipulation is somewhat playing into the hands of the challengers, given the fact that Los Gringos Locos, Art Barr, and Eddie Guerrero were the kings of this tag team match in AAA. Actually, the WCW not branded, but WCW promoted IWC AAA pay-per-view When Worlds Collide showcased a match featuring Guerrero and Barr in a 2 out of 3 falls match against Octagon and El Hijo del Santo. So that match was awesome, and I think that's exactly what they're going for in this match. Obviously, it's a more lucha stipulation of the 2 out of 3 falls. But Rude and Aries, of course, had to flip the script and basically saying that if they don't win, they don't get the team anymore. So I don't have a problem with that, but what do you do after that? You send Chavo maybe to, I don't know, he might weigh too much for the X division. I'm not sure. I don't remember what Chavo weighs anymore. And Hernandez, I don't know. So I don't know what you do at this point. I mean, you don't take. I wouldn't take the tag belts off of Rude and Aries unless you're going to push them back towards the World Heavyweight Championship. And right now, with a heel holding the belt, that's not possible. Unless you're going to turn the team, which could happen. But I want to see Rude and Aries feud with Bad Influence, not just because I'm a Chris Daniels mark, just because I want to see these four go at it. And I think they will. And I think that Bad Influence might be the reason why Chavo and Hernandez lose this match. Because, obviously, if you watch anything on the internet about the spoilers for the One Night Only pay-per-views to air throughout the rest of the year, you see the return of LAX. So, obviously, I know it's a One Night Only thing, but there's got to be a reason why Hernandez would team with Homicide again, and not just the fact that it's a One Night Only return. That fact that maybe, just maybe, this is going to be the stipulation that ends this team. So, who knows? I guess we'll find out next week. But I'm really looking forward to it because it's going to be pretty awesome. So up next, we get our gut check segment of the evening. The former NWA World Heavyweight Champion, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce. A lot of CWF Chicago footage was shown. CWF Hollywood footage was shown. And a lot of his Best of 7 feud with Colt Cabana. So, that was a really awesome way to build up Adam Pearce. He really put over the fact he's a 17-year veteran, and all he needs is the door to be left open a crack so he can kick it right in, and he can tell his baby boy that he's the man, and he is now a superstar in a big company. So, that's going to be awesome. And Adam Pearce is great, as always. His video basically says he's talking about his accomplishments over his 17-year career. It's the right time and the right place to make it on the main stage. He says he has a leg up on all the other gut check contestants because he's faced many of them before. Obviously, he's faced many of these guys before in the past, and he actually does stand a chance. Pearce says more about his wife and his kids, says he wants to win so he can tell his kids with pride that when they opened the door, it cracked, he kicked it right in. So, one of the best gut check videos I've ever seen. Now, on the other side of the coin was his opponent, who had one of the worst I've ever seen, and that's Magno. No offense to Magno, but this promo sucked. Basically, I'm Spanish. I get subtitled. Lucha Libre and the tradition of the mask. And it comes from the Mayans. That's a nice little tidbit you can tell at parties. The mask defines him, even after many times in the promo we see him shrouded in darkness, taking the mask and putting it back on, and taking it off and putting it back on over and over again. But it's important for him to follow the tradition. He breaks into his broken English and says he's here to make an impact, and says his name once again. Eek. Not a good promo. Hope his match is better. So JB introduced both competitors, and we got ourselves a gut check challenge. Okay, and before we start, I want to say right now, gut check's not tough enough. Gut check's not for green workers to get a shot to big time. No. Gut check is for people in the independents who know what they're doing to get a shot at one of the big two. That's exactly what gut check is. Gut check is to enter more talent into TNA that are not already under contract to another promotion. Obviously, you're not going to see any ROH guys on this. You're not going to see anybody from WWE Developmental. You're not going to see anybody from those. you're going to see a lot of people that are getting overlooked by the WWE, and probably were overlooked by TNA at one point too, so I have no problem with Gut Check. Gut Check is not tough enough. I mean, Gut Check is not, okay, we're going to take this green guy and we'll put him in the ring and let's see what he can do. No, they know what they can do, and they want to give them a chance to shine, and give the crowd a chance to get used to them to the point that they decide if they like them or they hate them, and based on that factor, they decide if they want to put them in the company or not. And I think Adam Pearce is obviously a perfect fit for this company, especially being how traditional it really is. And he's very traditional to the style of the way Jeff Jarrett was when he first came into the company back when his dad owned the company. So, before they sold it to Panda Energy. But we start off with the match, and we go back and forth for a while. Magno's timing sucks. He is way too fast, and he's not letting a storyline develop. Obviously, they've got 4 minutes, but he's way too quick. And sometimes that's a good thing. When it's botched, it's really a bad thing. So, it starts off fine. A lot of back and forth, a lot of reversals. And then there's the problem. Magno goes a little too fast. He needs to slow down a bit and slow his pace. So it's not the fact that Pearce can't catch up with him. It's the fact that when he's going at 1,000 miles an hour, it just doesn't work for him. It's kind of like how Mystico was when he first got into WWE. So you're going like 100 miles an hour and he botched a lot of stuff. And it looks really bad. So there were a lot of bad botches in this match. But let's talk about the middle of the match until the finish, like we always do. So Adam Pearce delivers a forearm to the back, and then mocks his opponent momentarily. Pearce whips Magno into the corner. He tries to float over. He trips up, but he covers it pretty well. And he gets landed with a tilt-a-whirl backbreaker by Adam Pearce. Wow, long day. On Adam Pearce. And then he hits a springboard moonsault right on the head of Pearce for a 2. Basically, the springboard moonsault was Sabu's Arabian Press, which kind of landed awkwardly, kind of in an arch. It just looked just bad. Bad match. So, Pearce reversed the Irish Whip and caught Magno in mid-springboard and nailed a spinebuster. Only got a 2 count. This time, Pearce whipped Magno in the ropes. Magno flips over the ring apron, takes Pearce down with a head scissor. And he connects with a series of clotheslines and a kick in the corner. He hits Pearce with a clothesline, knocking him all the way from the outside to the arena floor, and makes his way to the top turnbuckle. Magno connects somewhat with a moonsault, slightly, and both men take a second to regroup. They get back in the ring, and Pearce goes for a roll-up, grabs the middle rope, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, this match sucked. No offense to Adam Pearce, and I guarantee you this wasn't his fault, but it's just, Magno, it wasn't good. I mean, I would have put Adam Pearce in with someone else. I mean, it just didn't work. I mean, the styles just clashed so bad. And Magno it just didn't work. He's really sloppy. I mean, Magno reminded me a lot of a backyarder in that match. I mean, I think I've worked guys like Magno before in the backyard. So, it's just bad. It was a bad match overall. And it was kind of like the Lady Tapa and Ivelisse Velez. The fact that Ivelisse obviously came off more like the star, and Lady Tapa is basically just going to be like poor man's Awesome Kong now. So, that's pretty much what TNA should push her as. That's what I would do. She'd be the monster of the division, but we'll talk about that later. But the thing is, this gut check match was terrible, and I want to see Adam Pearce in TNA, and if this is the indication of what we're going to see, obviously it's not, but, I mean, Pearce is going to make it TNA. He deserves to make it in TNA. He's been going at it for 17 years. He has the pedigree. He has the skill set. He has the mic work. Adam Pearce is awesome, but this match with Magno was just terrible, absolutely horrid, and I really wish he could have worked someone else. I don't know, someone that could have gave him an actual wrestling match. Just bad match. So, let's say Adam Pearce wins the gut check next week, officially, and we'll forget this match ever happened. How's that sound? Sounds great to me. So, we see AJ Styles walking backstage. Emo AJ, of course, wearing his hoodie and his 5,000 o'clock shadow now at this point. He is stopped by Mr. Anderson and Aces and Eights. Anderson says they would like a guy like Styles in their organization, and he presents them with the cut. So Anderson tells Styles just to think about it, and he walks off. AJ walks the other way. So we still don't know what's going to happen with Crow AJ. So... But then again, obviously we know he's going to be the savior of TNA, him and James Storm. But that's how it works, and that's how it's going to work. But let's see how it progresses as we go along. So So, of course, we get our mysterious interviewer once again catching up with Hulk Hogan in the back, asking for an update about Sting. He says, "You want an update?" He's not here. He's like, "I want warriors in this company," and he doesn't want the warrior, obviously. He wants warriors in this company. He's going to call one out right now to see where he stands because he's not digging the whole gray area stuff. So we come back from commercial break and we see Joseph Park, and he's catching up with Kurt Angle in the locker room. Park says he knows Angle wants to save wrestling, obviously the shirt that you can buy on shoptna.com. So he's here tonight to fight. Park says the Aces and Eights did him wrong too, and he will stand toe-to-toe with Angle and do whatever it takes to take it to them. Angle tells Park, "Just follow my lead tonight, kid, and if you see an opportunity, just take it." So Hogan comes out after this segment, and Hogan basically says, "I'm going to cut right to the chase," without saying that at all. That's pretty much what he's doing. He's cutting right to the chase. "I'm not going to make the same mistakes I did before. From now on, I'm going to follow my gut. And I'm going to call out AJ Styles for a little talk." So AJ comes out to the ring, and, AJ, of course, is there, clutching the Aces and Eights cut once again. So AJ gets in the ring, and Hogan says if that's the decision he's making, but they're way off the page. Hogan says all the personal crap that Styles went through is something he understands really well. Obviously, he does. And he's turned into a different type of AJ brother. Hogan says TNA is Styles' family, and he's praying to God Styles isn't going to go down the Aces and Eights path. Hogan says the man TNA needs is the AJ he's looking at right now. Very dangerous version of AJ Styles. Hogan asks for the help against Aces and Eights. AJ takes the mic and just simply says, "So you want me to help you?" And right after that, James Storm comes out for the interruption. Storm says, "I remember the stipulation that prevented you from losing the TNA World Heavyweight title contention until Bound for Glory this year." Storm says he was the guy who beat Styles to cause this, but that's how it goes sometimes in this business. Storm says what really bothers him the most is the fact that AJ just sat back and watched while Aces and Eights beat the living daylights out of him last week. Storm says he's been there just as long as AJ, and the company was built on their backs. Storm says from the Asylum in Nashville to San Antonio to Jonesboro, of course, a nice little cheap pop there, him and AJ built this company. Storm tells Styles to join Aces and Eights if he wants to, because he's not the same guy that he remembers. Storm tells Styles to clock out before he gets knocked out. They stare each other down momentarily, and then AJ drops the mic and leaves the ring, still holding the cut. So, I like this. I like this a lot. AJ and James Storm to be the saving grace for TNA in the very end. Awesome. Awesome booking. I think it'd work really well. The only person missing from this, obviously, is Christopher Daniels, but he's such a hardcore heel right now, you couldn't really do this. Turning Daniels face, a bad influence face, maybe, possibly, but would they be good influence? No. Anyway, he's the only person missing from this, because they're obviously the three people that built the company, and given the fact that Storm is a hardcore babyface, and AJ's kind of on the cusp right now of not knowing what he's going to do, they'll probably be the ones who take Aces and Eights out once and for all. So, anyway, after commercial break, Hulk Hogan says, "I'm done sucking up," and AJ's got 1 week to decide what he's going to do, or he's done. So up next, we get our three-way X Division match. That's going to determine who is going to get the final slot in the next X Division title three-way dance that is going to be seen on an eventual edition of Impact. Sanjay Dutt makes his way out to the ring. Of course, he was the one that was pinned last week. And we see... Exactly. And the next superstar is Mason Andrews, who indie fans would know as PWG Scorpio Sky, and WWE fans would know as Harold from the Dr. Shelby segments on Raw. And of course, Maple Leaf Muscle himself, the Canadian Destroyer, Petey Williams. So, we'll go to the middle of the match as we always do. This match is, okay, it's spotty as hell, but when it comes down to it, these matches are supposed to be spotty. The psychology's kind of thrown out the window, but honestly, they're entertaining to watch. They really are. I love great ring psychology, and I'm always going to pick a great wrestling match in the end. But, sometimes Spotfest works. In the X Division, Spotfest really do work. Because it's not something WWE is giving us. WWE is not giving fans cruiserweight wrestling, and TNA is. So, I don't have a problem with this. And I don't have a problem with these three guys going at it at all. Except it seemed like for some reason Scorpio Sky was kind of the odd man out in this match. It should have been someone else. But that's neither here nor there. So Mason Andrews takes down Petey with a snapmare, hits a second rope double axe handle to the back for the kick out. And Sanjay gets back on the ring apron, he kicks Mason Andrews, runs in, locks in a submission hold, and Andrews breaks it up, sends Sanjay back to the outside. So Williams escapes the fireman's carry because Scorpio Sky was going for the TKO, and him and Andrews both get caught with a springboard dropkick. So Sanjay drapes Andrews over the middle rope and hits a springboard leg drop on the ring apron. Looked awesome. And another springboard splash on the inside for another kick out. So Sanjay goes for the move on both competitors. This time Williams breaks it up, hits a side Canadian leg sweep, and goes for another pinfall and another kick out. Petey signals for the end, and Sanjay pushes him into the corner. Sanjay catches the leg, kicks him right in the thigh. Williams knocks Dutt to the mat. Andrews jumps all the way up, hits a hurricane run off the top, which was awesome. So Sanjay hits the Misty Flip, or the Contra Code, depending on what you want to call it, and heads to the top rope. He misses the Moon Stomp. Andrews catches him with a flying knee. Williams then catches Andrews with the Canadian Destroyer out of nowhere. 1, 2, 3, and Petey Williams is going to be getting a shot at Kenny King's X Division Championship in the near future. I don't know if that means next week we're going to get another one of these three-ways to determine who this other person is going to be in there or not, but we'll find out in the near future, and I got no problem to see Petey Williams back. Welcome back, Petey. My God, you were missing this division. So, backstage, we see Bully Ray drinking beer with Aces and H, you know, like you do. And Bully says, I'm in a bad mood due to Kurt Angle and his punk friends. Bully says no one pisses on the Aces and Eights parade. And Ray says he knows they're going to represent the 10-man tag tonight in the main event. But Bully says, I just want to forget about what happened earlier, and tonight they should just go out and just take their souls. So Devon basically says, are you ready to deal with Brooke? So Ray sarcastically says, I miss my wife, and they kind of fake console her. So Ray is going to go out there and hand Brooke the envelope, and after that they'll be able to move forward. Ray and Aces and Eights then toast their mantra as we go to commercial. So, next week on TNA Impact, Full Metal Mayhem, Bully Ray defends the TNA World Heavyweight Championship against the charismatic Enigma Jeff Hardy. It's gonna be awesome. Taryn Terrell finally gets a one-on-one matchup against Gail Kim, and also we get a 2 out of 3 falls matchup for the TNA World Tag Team Championships as Austin Aries and Bobby Roode defend against Hernandez and Chavo Guerrero Jr. My God, next week in Corpus Christi is gonna be awesome. So, Aces and Eights make their way through the crowd for the main event, as always, without their leader, of course, because Bully Ray has other things to take care of tonight. And Team TNA come out on the ramp, as always, led by Kurt Angle, wearing pretty much American Gladiator's garb. Yeah, Kurt Angle looks like an American Gladiator at this point with his gear. But that's another story, and of course they're all coming out to Kurt Angle's entrance music. Yay, another follower on Twitter. So, main event, Team TNA, which is Kurt Angle, Samoa Joe, Magnus, Eric Young, and Joseph Park against Aces and Eights team of Devon, Doc, Nux, and Garrett Bischoff and Wes Briscoe. So, Mr. Anderson not in this match. Very interesting. Even though the fact that he got the promo time in the beginning of the show. So, we come back from commercial break, and Eric Young gets a 2 count on Nux as we come back from break. Nux catches Young in the midsection with an elbow to turn the tide. Sends him out to the floor with a nice big boot. It looked awesome. The extension on the boot was great, and Young's sell over the top, flawless. So Nux follows him out, delivers the right hand, Devon rolls him back into the ring, Nux grabs the arm, drops the leg across the throat of Eric Young. Doc tags in and works over Young in the corner with a series of strikes. Aces and Eights get their licks in left and right while the referee is distracted. So Doc connects with a big running splash, only gets a 2 count. Devon tags in, catches Young with the right hand. Devon repeatedly strikes Young in the corner, brings him back to the mat with a snapmare. So Devon locks on a nerve hold to the trapezius muscle, and Young makes it up to his feet, thanks to the crowd getting him back into it. Devon fights back, hits a running clothesline, and gets back up with like a breakdance version of the spinneroonie. Interesting. And it looks really odd, too. So Doc tags in, but gets nailed with an Eric Young jawbreaker. Doc and Nux knock the rest of TNA, sans Joseph Park off the ring apron just to prevent the tag. They caught them all sleeping. So Young fights back, hits an enziguri, sends Doc to the canvas. He basically kicked him right in the jaw. It looked awesome. So Park hot tag in and sends Doc flying out to the floor. Briscoe runs in, Park runs over him, hits the other members of Aces and Eights with right hands. So Park slams Briscoe to the canvas and goes for the closing argument. Only gets a 2 count because Aces and Eights break it up. So all 10 men make their way into the ring, and we have a nice big Donnybrook. Katie barred the door. We have a nice little brawl between all 10 men at this point. Eventually, we clear it out, leaving Park and Joe for Team TNA and Devon for Aces and Eights. So Joe takes out the gang with a nice elbow suicida, and Devon takes Park down with a spine buster. Devon goes to the top for the swan dive headbutt, and Park moves out of the way. Park goes for the closing argument. This time, Briscoe and Bischoff run in, so he nails them with both of the double clothesline. Doc out of nowhere hits Park with a low blow, rolls him up from behind, 1, 2, 3. Almost 14 minutes of action here. Not bad, and Park got a moment to shine there. The fact that him and Eric Young are obviously the wild cards of Team TNA. And I like this. It gives Aces and Eights some more momentum going into next week's big show in Corpus Christi. So, interesting match. Not a bad main event either. So, Hulk is backstage with Brooke. Brooke says she wants to go out alone to confront Bully Ray, and she's going to bring Ronnie from Atlas Security. You know, the famous Ronnie from Atlas Security from the ECW arena. Bring Atlas Security out for her protection. Hogan is not comfortable, but Brooke says, no, I'll be fine. Don't worry about it. So we come back from commercial break, and we get our final segment of the evening. Bully Ray makes his way out from the crowd, as usual, with the envelope in hand. He gets in a shouting match with a bunch of stupid fans around ringside, as always, shakes hands with Taz, and gets in the ring. Bully grabs the mic and says, in 7 days, the biggest World Heavyweight Championship rematch in wrestling history will take place. Bully calls Jeff the stupidest person he's ever met, because he was dumb enough to challenge him to a match involving tables, chairs, and ladders. And then he turns his attention to tonight as he has some personal business to attend to. Then he calls out his beautiful wife to the ring. So Brooke makes her way out to her own theme music, as usual, with 2 members of the security team. Obviously, they're out with Atlas Security. And Brooke gets in the ring, and Ray asks how she is before asking her where her wedding ring is. Wedding ring is. Wow, long day. Bully says, I got my ring on. It's a sign of my love and my devotion for you. So Bully gives a pass for this week, but now on, Brooke does what she's told and wears her wedding ring. I love this. Misogynistic Bully Ray. Gold. So, Brooke tries to stop, but Ray stops her and says security should be there for his protection, not hers. Brooke was crazed after lockdown, and she should have been happy instead that he became the World Heavyweight Champion. Bully says Brooke should have done everything a good wife does after the match, but she's insane. But Bully forgives her and asks her what the manila envelope contains. Brooke says she hopes it's his divorce papers. Bully says he loves her. She's the wind beneath his wings, and he couldn't have done any of this without her. Bully hands her the envelope and tells her to open it. She does, and what does she get? A ticket to Corpus Christi. A front row ticket to Corpus Christi. Now, I get where they're going with this, but Brooke Hogan, okay. She's the daughter of the general manager. She's a Hogan. She is the president of the Knockouts division. Okay, she has her own theme music. Why the hell does she need a ticket to get in the building? I understand it's done for the purpose of the storyline, but she doesn't need a ticket. Honestly, it just makes no sense. But anyway, he wants her to be in the front row to watch Jeff Hardy get defeated yet again with the TNA World Heavyweight Championship on the line. Bully says lately Brooke has let herself go, so Brooke rips the ticket in half and slaps him right in the face. Bully says, I can't help but laugh. He calls Brooke pathetic, and he says he's in Brooke's head, so bad it's not even funny, and has been there since day one, and asks, once again, if Brooke wants to smack him again. Kind of backing her in the corner, like, it's really menacing, it was kind of creepy, to be totally honest. So this verbal abuse is cut off by Jeff Hardy, who runs out to brawl with Bully Ray as Brooke escapes to the ringside area and up the ramp and out of the picture. So Bully and Jeff Hardy brawl to end the show, so not bad. Not a bad show. I know a lot of people on the internet were kind of bashing it, but you know, honestly, it wasn't bad. I like seeing Petey Williams back. I love seeing the Canadian Destroyer again. That was awesome. And, I like what they're going with Aces and Eights at this point. I love Bully Ray as World Heavyweight Champion. It's about damn time it happened. And there's only one more wrong to right with the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. The only person left that needs to hold it that hasn't, Chris Daniels. Chris Daniels needs to be World Champion, something fierce. So I really want Christopher Daniels to be TNA World Heavyweight Champion before 2013 is over. I think somehow, some way that will happen. Obviously, it's a good idea, and he should have won the belt from Jeff Hardy before they went over on the UK tour, but that's another story altogether. Obviously, I already talked about that in a TNA Impact review back when it happened. So that was Impact for last night, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the show. Taryn Terrell showed me a lot, actually, in her Knockouts tag team match. And Jerry Ryan is a sleazeball, as always, and he does it oh so well. And Joseph Park getting some shine. I like that. I like what they're doing with him. Kurt Angle, of course, looks like a lost American gladiator, but he is awesome in the ring, so it doesn't matter. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the 2 out of 3 Falls World Tag Team title match next week. And Full Metal Mayhem is going to be a bloody, glorious encounter, and I'm very excited for it. So that's Impact for this week. Next week, like I said, live in Corpus Christi, Texas, for the big TNA Impact, with the World Heavyweight title on the line, with the World Tag Team titles on the line, and who knows, maybe a Knockouts title match, or maybe a television title defense, finally, from Devon might happen. Who knows? Maybe the X Division Championship will be on the line next week. Who knows? We don't know any of this. We just know what we're told at the end of Impact this week, last night. So, that was TNA for this week. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I did. And I will talk TNA with you guys again a week from today. And of course, wrestling fans, stay tuned this weekend because there's a lot of content for you. Tomorrow, we're going to talk SmackDown, or as much as I possibly can. And on Sunday, we've got WrestleMania 29. We're going to have a WrestleMania prediction video. And obviously, for other viewers of the channel, AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews will bring us Evil Dead, Temptation, as well as Room 237. And I believe there's one more as well. I don't remember what the movie's called off the top of my head, but I know there's an Welcome to the Punch, maybe? I think that might be it. But that'd be the 4. There'll be 4 this week, so that'll be ready. So right before I go to Will's, I will shoot that video and show you guys AJ's Weekend Movie Reviews, and of course we will do a WrestleMania prediction video from Will's house. So those will be my final predictions, and I'll be able to give those to you 100% verbatim on Sunday, right before the big event. So that's what I'm going to have there, and of course Sunday, after Sunday's over, after I leave Will's, I'm going to watch Celebrity Apprentice, and on Monday, you're going to get a Celebrity Apprentice recap video, and you're also going to get a really awesome video talking about WrestleMania. So we're going to get that taken care of, and hopefully I got Will with me on that WrestleMania video, but we'll find out what happens. So I'm going to get off here. Once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for the new subscribers. Hopefully you guys continue to subscribe. Thanks for all the new Twitter followers. I appreciate that as well. And thumbs up these videos, like these videos, comment on these videos, subscribe to these videos, continue to watch these videos. Thanks again for everything. And until tomorrow, that's all I got to say about that.